What is up? Matt Pratt here, and today we're going to jump back on this Focus Flip little project. If you don't know about the Focus, go ahead and get caught up on the previous video, but real quick, it is a clean title car that we purchased, and I think we can make a couple bucks on. It was someone else's project that they lost motivation on, which we're going to try to turn into our profit. Anyways, so where we left off at was we needed parts and they came in. We got a hood, we got an upper tie bar little area, we got some bumper brackets. I think we could put the headlights on, we can fit it all up. But before we get to work, hit that subscribe button. You know I'm doing stuff like this every single week, trying to put out more and more videos each week. Not only do I work on projects like this, but these projects also fund my personal projects. So if you want to learn how to do that, follow my channel. Let's get to work. What do we have here? This is our upper tie bar, header panel, whatever you want to call it. These are little bumper brackets. I don't know how they work. We're not going to clip that in there yet, but it looks like it goes like that. But that's cool. It lets the bumper snap in there really well. I just don't want to break it. So this part is really important though. This header panel looks like this is where our headlights are going to sit. The first thing I noticed, it's got a bunch of like holes everywhere that might need something in it, and I'm not sure that we have all that stuff. I have to check those little baggies from the last video, but looks like we got fenders that mount up right there, so that's good. This looks like the piece that we need to make this look more complete of a car. The most important part, we have the hood. First thing you got to check out on this hood after you unbox is any major dings or dents. A lot of times these things get a bunch of dings and dents from shipping, but everything looks pretty damn good. So let's get the headlights out and then start fitting some of this stuff up. I hope this thing goes together right. This is weird, it's got a square here that looks like the imprint of a square here. So that goes on. I just don't know if there's like a bracket or something that goes on that, because I think it'd be pretty stupid if Ford were to just sit this plastic against metal without some sort of bracketry. But I guess we're gonna find out. The sucky part is when you get a car like this that you did not take apart. These are the little issues you're gonna run into. You're not gonna know how to put it back together. Now I can pull it up, and I did on a diagram, and it showed all this stuff, but I don't know if this stuff's floating around in the car or not. You know, I got a whole bag of like 50 nuts, bolts, and stuff in it. I'm gonna have no clue that piece goes there. That's what I'm gonna need. So it's gonna be a slower process than the process we do at the body shop that I work at, just for that factor of we don't know. But it's okay, because I got all the time in the world here at my house. And we'll make a list of it, and I'll go back to work and order more stuff. Alright, just my first glance seeing at this thing, I could tell that some of this thing is tweaked a little bit. I take it that this long bolt goes in here. Kind of an interesting setup that they have here. This piece you can adjust forward and backwards, and then you just clamp the whole thing to it. I don't know if a whole entire bracket goes around this. I'm going to check just by going through all the parts that I have. I did not see any type of brackets that would go around this bulkhead, header panel, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna call it a bulkhead, because I think that's the proper name for it. Anyways, this doesn't look too bad. This little tab here is kind of angled back a little bit, but that's easy. You just gotta tap that with a hammer forward. Looking at this, that isn't sitting too far back, but you can see down here this bottom hole for our fender is pretty far back, so this could actually be rocked forward a hair. When I take this bracket off, you'll see that it's kind of just connected here and here, and it looks like you can actually rock it back. And we can also look down at the square, and it's got a little tiny buckle right there. But that's okay, everything adjusts So all we gotta do is tap that, and then we should be sitting where we want. This side's a little worse. I can tell that whatever this person hit, which I heard it was a deer, definitely came across over here, and it came high. We can already see that this is bent. I don't think that's supposed to be bent like that. I am going to try to yank on that a little bit later. It's not in my way. I can see that this bracket is definitely sitting back. You can see the angle there. And our bolt for right here, let me get some light on there, is nowhere near. It's at a totally different angle. And if I were to bolt that to it, my holes there wouldn't be lined up so well. So, but that's okay. This is really thin metal, definitely a crumple zone. It was designed to do that, just to absorb the impact. And good thing about those crumple zones, we can pull them back out. Now, of course, when you pull them back out, it makes them weaker, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. This car's hit is designed to take right here and farther back. There's more crumple zones as you go back there. It's okay to just tap those out, repair them. Should be able to take another hit again, just like it. Looking at this top here, that buckle looks kind of normal. It looks like usually they purposely kink it in your crumple zones. They do. That's why this whole thing is ribbed like this. It looks like a spring. This one's a little taller, and the paint is actually broken around it, which means it's a little higher than it should be. So, all right. So let's take this whole thing off and see if we can tweak these back to where we want them to be at, and then if we put that piece on and it lines up, maybe we can throw some headlights on there, or even the hood. As you can see, we got that piece to roll out a little bit, and we got this piece up and down better, and I did all that with the hammer. This spot, you know, hit the hammer a little bit in here, that got the bottom to roll out, and then this spot I actually put a pair of vice grips on it and squeezed the buckled area and actually rolled it out a little bit. Now if you look up close, this should be hammered and dollied a little bit better, but I can't really get something in there. I'm gonna have to bring a tool home from work to support the back of that while I smack it flat. But anyways, the most important part is we got that piece to roll out, and it looks like it fits a whole lot better with the whole symmetry of the front end of this car. So let's take the fender off and knock out this side. Alright, we got our piece bolted up. I hammered and dollied this one out too. This one looks a lot better. Same thing, just kind of hit it with the vice grips and beat it with a hammer a little bit, and looks like it got everything where it should be. It is only 4 bolts that hold this entire bulkhead on. This is pretty crazy and pretty simple. If you think this is a popular place to wreck your car, they could have your car back together faster just because this is bolt on. I remember before with older cars, that piece was metal. We would have to grind it, cut it off, put it back on, hope that it doesn't rust, you know, longer repair process. Bolt the pieces on, send you on your way. So the next step is to bolt the fenders on and bolt the hood latch on. And then we're going to bolt the hood on, and we're going to hope the hood closes right down on the hood latch. That's going to tell us the position of this core support is good or bad. I'll tell you this, by looking at the radiator mounts, there's supposed to be a rubber piece that goes in here. I do not like the way that radiator is sitting. It could just be sitting there because I can kind of get it centered, but it should be centered in there. I just hope that there's nothing else tweaked on this car making that sit kind of funny. There's a good chance that that's just the way it is, and if it is, it is. If it isn't, we're going to figure it out and fix it. Let's get these fenders on. And of course, I didn't get lucky and bolt the hood on and it just lines up. This hood is going to be tricky to line up, I'll tell you that. Look how much this one's sitting over. There's a good chance my hinges need to be brought forward. So it looks like the way this car was engineered together, we're actually going to have to take the fenders back off because the adjustment for the hinges is in here, and we're going to have to adjust the hood to the pillars first, and then we'll adjust the fenders, you know, to the hood. So, which sucks because I've taken these fenders already since I've owned the car 3 times. This will be the 4th time, but it is what it is. I've never worked on one of these cars before, and this is just the process you have to go through to make sure everything fits right. I'm gonna have to take this car apart and put it together 100 times, I bet, before I'm done with it. But that's how you make sure it's right. So fenders gotta come off now. Much better. That fits pretty good. It closed down on the latch, no problem. And this fits pretty good. This might need to be tweaked a little bit, possibly pull the hinge back. But yeah, these having the hinges right here, a lot of movement, which is awesome because you can really fine tune the gaps on this car, which is cool. I don't want to get too crazy with it. I'm sure they're not perfect from the factory, but they look pretty close. So I might adjust them a little bit better the next time I put the car back together. Because you know I have to take all this apart to paint it. So let's pop the hood here and see how well it's doing with the latch. Sound like it popped pretty easy, which is good. We'll see how it opens. Now here's the tricky part. There's a lever under here that connects to this cable, so I can open up the rest of this hood. I'm gonna have to buy that lever. Yeah, that all looks really good. And it closes nice, and it hits the latch perfect, like almost dead on, which is good. So. All right, awesome. I'm going to use my vacuum cleaner attachment here to prop the hood up because I don't have a prop rod, and make sure that's not denting the outside. Oh God, it is. Let's put that little safer spot right here. Man, if I had done this brand new hood, I'd be so mad. Anyways, now we can put the fenders on, and then we can put the headlights. And this time when I put the fenders on, I'm gonna show you how well these line up. They actually line up really good, which makes me feel like this car is gonna line up pretty good, as it should, because this is a little baby hit compared to the hits that I've done. So, fenders now. All right, here we go. Look at them holes, line up pretty good, right? Maybe okay, good for me. These holes are important because that tells me the position of the core support is good. And I know I keep calling the core support the bulkhead, a bunch of different names. This big plastic piece looks like the areas that we repaired have it sitting pretty good. That means our bumper is going to sit good with our headlight and so on. God, these headlights look like they come all the way up here. Such a weird car. And there you go, that fits. So much better compared to the other side, which was easy effort. Gap's a little big in here. I'd probably tighten it up when I push the fender in. All that's good to go. The hood latches pretty good. Now let's fit these headlights in there. All right. This side fits great. I mean, look at that line. It's awesome. This looks good too. It's crazy because this side looks way better than this side. This side, the hood is really low, it needs to come up, and it kind of fits the fender kind of the same. That adjustment might be needed in the fender more, because I did shove it. Actually might be in the hood. I might have to take this whole fender off and pull this hinge up to get the fit a lot better. But it's crazy because we could definitely tell that this side took the impact. I mean, that had the most repair damage on there. The reason why this side doesn't fit, I'm pretty positive I just don't have the hinge or these areas lined up properly. But this is okay, this is normal. It's just what you gotta do till you get it right. But if we want to sit back here and take a look, our car is looking like a car again. I don't know what headlights these are, but they look a little different. I have no clue. I don't know, maybe because I'm not used to looking at focuses. I don't know if the aftermarket ones they bought, I didn't know they come like such black housing, so on. So, all right, so I gotta figure this out. This is gonna bug the hell out of me. None of my cars fit like this in my garage. I'm not gonna let a car leave my shop that fits like that. I don't care if it's a flip or not, we're gonna take care of it. So headlight comes back out, fender comes back off. We're readjusting this hood, and I might throw the headlight in there without the fender on, just so this will help me with my gap here, and then I'll throw the fender back on. So let's try that. So we did a number of things there. We got it a little bit better, but I'm still not completely happy with it. I do have to remember though that there are hood stops that go on this core support bulkhead, and whenever you shut the hood, they actually limit how low the hood goes. I don't have any on right now, which is pretty critical to lining up the height of this hood. So I'm sure if I had those, I could get a little bit better out of it. But with them being aftermarket Chinese parts, they actually don't fit that bad, you know, at this look. So I just have to remember these are Chinese parts. I'm trying to make them fit super well, which I think they will. I just need some of the other stuff that helps align it up, like those pieces I was just talking about. But looks pretty good for right now. Let's keep rolling with it. Let's throw that bumper on there, and I know there's a couple pieces to this bumper that confuse me, and we're about to find out how it goes together. So let's do it. And we have a car, somewhat. So the sheet metal, I am pretty happy and content with the sheet metal. Just the way it lines up, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the Chinese headlights. They actually fit okay, pretty decent, especially on this side. However, I am not happy with this front bumper. First off, the front bumper looks funky. I don't know why, it just doesn't match the car. And I don't know why, I don't know if it's because it just doesn't fit right or what. Second, this thing was folded up like a burrito, and it suffered some consequences from being folded up like that. First off, completely out of shape, and second, it's cracked. So this bumper will not do. It's cool because the bumper was kind of like a freebie. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, whatever. The headlights and the fenders work great. So, and there's another panel that goes behind the bumper that kind of fits it to the car, and I'm not sure about that either. So I'm actually going to look into different front bumper options. Do feel like that the front bumper should be a little more aggressive looking. This might be just it. Maybe I can get like a lip spoiler or something for it just to make it a little more aggressive, but it is what it is. As for that, everything else I'm pretty cool with. I just need to figure out the bumper situation. And when I figure out the bumper situation, I'm also going to order the little hood stops. I'm going to order some hardware. It needs a lot of hardware. It needs the lever that actually unlatches the hood after it's popped. Fender liners. This thing has no fender liners. I'm going to order those. And so on. I mean, this bumper, it has an aftermarket intercooler on it, and it looks like it could use something to open that whole intercooler section up. So I'm definitely open to options on that, and I'm going to look into that the next couple days. Well, this is a good stopping point for this car. I definitely have the sheet metal ready to be just taken completely apart, and I can paint it, and I might do that this weekend. We are jammed up on the bumper situation. I'm going to get answers for that in the next couple days. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to keep up with this little Ford flip of mine, hit that subscribe button. If you already have, I'll see you guys next week. Like, comment, share, all that cool stuff. Go work on something.